Cyber crimes affect millions of Americans. Technology consultant Francie Black is here to show us how to keep yourself from revealing personal information through email scams. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And this stat actually came out from the government, and they said that 143 million consumers in 2017 alone were affected by cyber crimes. Okay, and out of that, even more than 1 million children were victims of identity theft or fraud in 2000. So this is a huge problem. And what this kind of entails, like, what does cyber crimes mean? What are they? And so what they define them as is malware, so things that infect your computer, that download personal information, debit or credit card fraud, data breaches, compromised password, and then email access to your email, which is a huge, huge problem.
I've had almost every one of those things happen to me.
Well, we're going to talk about how to keep them from accessing through your email account. So this is one piece of that, and how to detect these phishing scams. And in case you don't know what we mean when we say the word phishing, I'm going to have you sort of define it here for me. I don't know if you mind reading that.
A scam by which an internet user is duped as by a deceptive email message into revealing personal or confidential information that the scammer can use illicitly.
Yes, so they're using it against you to defraud you in some way. All right, so we're going to do a little quiz. I'm going to pop quiz for you and the audience. You guys can look at this. I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit if I can. This actually just came into my email account maybe 2 weeks ago. All right, and this is a little snapshot of my email. And check out this message from Apple. Is there any way that you or out in the audience can tell that this might be a scam?
I don't know.
You don't know, okay. So this was really tough. Now this is a real message, okay? So I got this from secure@apple.com. Now this is the from column. What would normally be here? Either a person's name or the company name. So if this were from Apple, it would say Apple.
Not the rest of it.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So there's typically not an email address in the name column.
Okay.
It would be the company name or a person's name. And I get lots of email from Apple, so I wouldn't get it where it would say secure@Apple. So that's one clue. So that made me raise my eyebrow. Now, when you get into the message, I'll try and zoom this a little bit here. Now, look closely here. So this was actually says it's a receipt for a $51 purchase for some game, which we definitely did not purchase. Can you see here how would you might clue in? This is a great way to tell whether or not something is a phishing scam. Okay, you got to look really closely. And I can point you in the right direction.
That's actually because you can't write them back.
You can't, not so much the no reply. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it better here. But look where, if you were to reply,
there's not even a real
yeah, it's
text.
not, exactly, it's not even a real domain. So if this were from Apple, this would say, it could say no reply, but it would say from apple.com or service@apple.com or wellsfargo.com or whoever the provider is, okay? So that's the big way. So always look at that return address. Now what they're trying to do, and I know this is really hard to see, but down here.
I'm like, Francie, you're asking me to do all these things and half of it I can't even read.
Okay, so this is tiny, but in here it says, if there's any problems with this message, click here. So guess what
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. So they say click here, and that could lead to malware. It could say, hey, you need to reset your Apple ID password because for this refund you might need to do that. Don't do that. Or it could say enter your credit card in order to get the refund to your card. In all of those ways, they're getting access to your private and personal information, so don't do that, all right? So this is it actually it's even harder to tell this message from a phone shot. Okay, so don't click, don't download, don't send money, don't reset passwords unless you have done a password reset. Okay. So you want to make sure, keep your information private, they can steal it, and I've got all that information at iPadwisdom.com.
All right, it's also going to be on WLOS.com under Tech Time.